Add to Cart, the show where we celebrate creativity and commerce. Today, I am having the wonderful, the most hilarious, the part-time comedian, Colin McIntosh of Sheets Giggles. If you don't know Sheets Giggles, you are really missing out. They are the best sheets I have ever had in my life. Completely made of eucalyptus and bamboo, these products are saving the world by saving water. And they're providing all of us with some necessary comedy while we are buying our linens. So, Colin, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Liz. I appreciate you having me here. And quick clarification, it's just eucalyptus now.
No bamboo?
No bamboo, yeah.
What was the decision?
Just bamboo uses a harmful solvent called carbon disulfide, and so we don't want to use that in our products.
We are further saving the world.
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
exactly.
So
yes.
you were saving the world before, but now you're extra saving the world.
Exactly.
I got you.
All eucalyptus, yeah.
So, Colin, I want to take our viewers all the way back to when you first told me you were going to start a sheets company.
You were one of the first people I told.
I remember.
Yeah,
we went to lunch, and you had a very interesting career doing everything from recruiting to working at startups. And we are sitting down at lunch, and you say, I'm going to start a sheets company. And I said, I'm sorry, so what exactly is your experience in the bedding industry?
Zero.
You had none.
Yeah.
What in the world compelled you to go after this opportunity?
So it's funny, yeah, you're right. I had worked at a hedge fund, I had been a recruiter, and then I had worked in B2B software and then consumer electronics. So it was a very weird career leading up to...
Not a conventional journey.
No home textiles, nothing at all. And basically, I decided to start a bed sheets company because I had been laid off from my last company at 1 p.m. on a Monday. It feels really bad when that happens, as everyone who's been laid off can tell you. You don't get last week's pay, you lose your health care, you have to buy back your computer if you want to keep it. And so I think 3 weeks later, I either went off the deep end or had a really brilliant idea. And I just decided that I was going to start a bed sheets company because the industry was massive, it was highly fragmented, there were zero brand differentiation between any of the major players. And so I thought that could I build the most differentiated brand in the space? And that was kind of what led me down the path. So that's the strategic reason. The other reason is because Sheets Giggles is a really good name. It's a really funny name.
It really was this insight that was unique to you, I believe. And I often describe this as like a lottery ticket moment where suddenly you scratch off an idea, you scratch an itch, and it's all sevens.
Yeah, no, we got lightning in a bottle. Like my initial goal was to make $3,000 a month to pay my rent and eat a lot of pasta and tell everybody else to F off. And I didn't have to worry about anybody else in the world. And then we did the Indiegogo. We had like a $45,000 day one. I was like, oh shit. And then we had a $300,000 30-day campaign. And we just really got a tiger by the tail and, kept building from there. So people really, really connected with the zaniness and the really out there brand in a space that's pretty boring.
What I want to paint a picture of is when you got this idea of going after sheets, there were a lot of incumbent players.
Tons,
brands like Brooklinen and
Boll and Branch, Parachute,
yes, and these brands were all sort of showing white sheets on a perfect bed in a perfect bedroom.
There's a fern next to the bed, and there's a French press coffee on the edge of the bed. That's like very dangerous place to put a French press coffee. But yes, all their content looks exactly like that.
Exactly, but they had a visual aesthetic, right?
Yeah.
And you decided when you went to market with Sheets Giggles, which by default is a funnier name, a sillier name. You decided to take a totally different approach to your creative. You decided to take a totally different approach to the visuals. Describe for folks what that looked like.
So I tend to build photo shoots around like a core idea or a core joke that I have in my head, like in my mind's eye. And I could not get this image out of my mind's eye of me in between two other guys, both with beards, with avocado green face masks on, drinking red wine, just seemingly talking about their days. And so I built a whole photo shoot around that singular photo. That was the crown of the photo shoot. And it was a crazy photo shoot. We brought 2x4s in the bedroom and we're sawing them in half for jokes about sawing logs, which means snoring, right? Like we had, our models using circle saws, which is very dangerous.
We didn't turn them on, did we?
We did turn them on. Yeah, it was sawdust flying in the bedroom, and it was crazy. It was insane, I remember sitting in the background of the room, looking at this and being like, we are gonna sell the out of some sheets. I was just thinking, I don't know if I can curse on the show,
You
but
can
like,
curse on the
okay,
show.
great. I don't know YouTube's algorithm or whatever. But I basically like I remember like looking at especially Virginia like sawing through the logs with sawdust kicking in the air and just thinking like, this is gonna crush, because there was my one rule for our photo shoots, and I tell my team this even to this day, is if it's been done before, if it's been seen before, I don't want it. I don't want anything to come out of our photo shoots that you could look at and not know which company it comes from. And we do have basic shots of the sheets and that sort of thing, so people can see up close before they buy what they look like, the colors, that sort of thing. But the zanier the better, and the more out there the better. Like, and we've done yoga in bed sheets. We've ridden scooters around Denver in bed sheets. We've
You've had water balloon fights.
In bed sheets with Soona. Yeah, we had for 4th of July weekend sparklers in bed. We actually caught one of the bed sheets on fire.
We did.
In that photo shoot.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been a core tenet since day one that like visually striking differentiation, that lightning rod. Because when you're talking about especially social media advertising, you need to get somebody to stop what they're doing.
Correct.
And sit up straight and on often case scroll back up and say, what the hell did I just see? And like that's the thing we subscribe to.
What is so compelling about this to me is it really shows the opposite. It was the stark visual opposite of your competitors.
Yeah.
Right? You're still selling sheets. They're amazing sheets. They're sheets.
Incredible sheets. Like
right.
they are the best sheets you'll ever buy. And they're sustainable, and they're softer than cotton, and they're more breathable. And there's the pitch. But they are just bed sheets. Yes.
And because of that visual contrast between maybe some of the other competitors that you're seeing, it truly did speak to customers, I think, in a different way. So let's just run down who buys Sheets and Giggles.
Our customers are about 75% women, and they're majority, I think like 55% millennial. And then men make up about 25% of our customers as well, also mostly millennial men. So
this runs counter, I think, to what a lot of people would expect. I believe that the comedy being integrated into the business, both in the visuals, but also in the copy and in the attitude of the brand, even down to, this funny box that has pizza slices and koalas and, a recycle. I mean, everything about the brand is really designed around lightheartedness and comedy. It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels really good. How do you think that helped you with acquiring customers?
I want people to have a big smile when they think about Sheets and Giggles, when they get in the bed at night, when they open their box, when they're on our website. There's a strategic reason for that, right? Like, people release dopamine when they're smiling, and like it's like a really strong connection you're building with someone. But also, like, I just have a belief that people buy more things when they're happy. People will go out of their way to buy from you if you make them happy, and they'll go out of their way to avoid buying from you if you make them miserable. Why the happiness is like key to everything, I think it's just because that's kind of like who I am. It's what I enjoy, and brands' voices have to be the founders' voices. And so if I was going to do something more serious or more educational or more somber, it wouldn't come out the same. So for me, it's really a way to let my inner I don't know if I want to say inner child shine, but like, it's definitely, this is like the best parts of my personality without any of the worst parts. So this is me in a sense.
I think I can confidently say there are lots of best parts of your personality that don't have to do with your product.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
But let's pivot a little bit to the conversation around the business growing, because you've grown extremely fast. This company has become a multi-million-dollar company.
That's crazy.
I would bet you're on Shopify, correct?
Shopify, yeah.
Yeah. I would bet you're in the top tiers of Shopify sellers.
We're top 1%.
Top 1%.
Yeah, I don't think they break it down too much further than that.
Yeah. So top 1% of Shopify stores. That happened in 3 years?
Oh, we were top 1% in like 2 years. Yeah.
So
we went for context, we went from 0 to our first $1 million sales month in 24 months.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So kind of walk folks through, what were some of the things, especially the creative choices that you made, that allowed you to get to that upper echelon of success so quickly?
We have like a brand guideline that's not too rigid, but like, sweet but not saccharine, funny but not corny, like clever but not try hard. sarcastic but never biting. And so there's different guardrails they put up around it. The creative choices for me always center around like what is going to get the biggest laugh, because I think that you have a much longer attention span, lower bounce rate, and you have an opportunity to like talk to someone for longer. And I think that Americans get really bad rap for like short attention spans. I don't think people have short attention spans. I think people have short consideration spans.
And people are getting more discerning. There's so much more for them to digest.
Exactly.
And when there's more to digest, you have to be more discerning.
Right, exactly. Like people will watch multi-hours long videos, documentaries, movies. Like the attention's still very much there. It's just that if you don't hook somebody very quickly, then you lose them. And so for me, the comedy is really the hook. And if it comes down to the copy as well. Like in the beginning, all I had was copy. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a videographer like you. I'm not a photographer. And so all I had was copy. And so every line had to be like an absolute stitch. And so, when somebody's reading and they're just like laughing and then laughing again, they will keep reading, keep scrolling. Our time on page was like way higher than anything I had ever seen before. Our conversion rates were commensurately higher. And it's because you give people an opportunity. As you're making them laugh, you're also informing them about your product. And so that's been... I don't like people who say like you have to keep content short or you have to keep it simple or whatever. I think people are smarter than they get credit for. I think that they're funnier than people get credit for.
Yeah, shorter does not equal better.
No.
If bad is bad, no matter how long
bad
it is.
Bad is bad no matter how long it is, exactly. Like, and good is good no matter how long
That's
it is.
right.
Like, and as long as you can keep it going, like, I think more content is better for a number of reasons, right? Like SEO, discoverability, like conversion. But also, I think just in terms of like giving people that really strong brand affinity for even if they don't buy, they might leave and then tell somebody like, you gotta check out this website. Like you have to see the social media account, and that's what we want. There's
this funny aspect to your business though, where I think comedy is actually very hard.
It is hard. It's super hard.
It's not easy.
It's insanely hard.
So how do you keep it up? I mean, you've now introduced blankets. Very soon you're going to have mattresses.
Right.
You're going to have more products. So how do you keep the comedy going?
My team is all very funny. Like we crack each other up. Like it's a constant riff on Slack. It's almost like we're writing sketch comedy and not really like we're writing content for a bed sheets company, which is exactly the way I want it. Like bed sheets bore me to tears. Our sheets are great. But like bed sheets in general bore me to tears, the whole industry. And so if you have this blank canvas of like, it does not matter at all what you do, because who's gonna care if you screw up a bed sheets ad? Who's gonna care if you screw up a piece of bed sheets content or a social media post? Nobody's gonna care. It's the least serious thing in the world, right? It's a very impactful thing, like you can, really change your sleep cycles with it, but it's not serious. And so for me, that's very freeing because we can kind of be the Seinfeld of brands where we're a brand about nothing. One day we talk about, all the trees that we planted, one per order, tens of thousands of trees in reforest areas. The next day we can talk about how amazing our sheets are versus cotton, lower coefficient of friction, more breathable. And the next day we can post a SpongeBob meme. And the next day we're back to talking about the $28,000 we donated to cancer charities last Black Friday. The brand is never boring. It's always something different every day.
What's your gut say about what's next? How will you preserve Sheets and Giggles?
So it's been 4.5 years since I founded the company, which is crazy to think about. It's been just over 3 years since we shipped our first box, about 3.5 years. I have like an abundance mentality. I think that there are enough people in the US, across the world, who will resonate with this brand to where we can have millions of customers and millions of people who like really pick up what we're putting down before we have to say, okay, well, how do we reach more people? And I don't even know if we ever want to do that, because what I want is a core audience of people who really get what we're doing, who are really big into sustainability, who are really big into comedy, who like brands who do good and have fun at the same time and want to support those companies and be a part of that company's journey. And then I want to give them mattresses, give them pillows, give them towels, give them nighttime apparel, branch into daytime apparel, like go into curtains and rugs. You can make everything textile, home textile or apparel textile, sustainably out of eucalyptus trees. We're going to branch into other sustainable fabrics as well. Hemp is next up for us, probably in terms of curtains. And so that type of, I think, long-term business building, where it's more about like the retention of the customers you have and giving them more of what you've really promised them and crushed for them already, is better than like constantly going out and trying to mine millions of people who don't resonate with what you've built, because then you're kind of turning your back on the people who bought in to what you were building.
Sure.
And I never want to do that. I want to have a very close relationship with the people that buy into this.
So, Colin, you have accomplished so much. I think you've ultimately proven that, in fact, puns do scale. So if someone wants to purchase your sheets or purchase your other products, look at that camera over there and tell them what they should do.
You should just Google Sheets and Giggles. You'll find us. That's it. The end.
Colin is so confident in his marketing that he is not even worried about whether or not you're going to find his company.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can go, this is the coolest URL that we own. You can go to amazon.com/sheets. That's pretty good. I love that we own that
That's
URL.
Pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, no, sheetsgiggles.com, all the things. Yeah, so just Google Sheets and Giggles, you'll find us.
If you like this video, please like and share this video. If you found what Colin said helpful, use his tips, be brave in your business, maybe, infuse some comedy if you're actually funny.
Or not, whatever.
Or not. And of course, we really appreciate if you would subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much, Colin, for being here.
This is the most fun interview I've ever done, and no surprise. So yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could do it.
All right.
Thank you.